Jayo Radha Madhova Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Vrijanarajana Yashodanandana Vrijanarajana Yashodanandana Vrijanarajana Yamuna Tira Vadati Yamuna Tira Vadati Jayo Rama Madhova Kunja Today we'll talk about Brahma. We have been talking about Durga. We talked about Shiva. We talked about Vishnu. Now today in the shloka comes about Brahma. Now in the relation, definitely none of these personalities are independent. All of these personalities are related to each other. And Brahma Samhita therefore is a unique scripture. Generally what happens, if you read some Devi Purana, you come to know how Devi is supreme. If you read Shiva Purana, you come to know how Shiva is supreme. You know Vishnu Purana, you come to know Vishnu is supreme. But how they are related to each other, you don't come to know actually. And I explain how the things can be simultaneously true, because just like in Mangalore city, the district in charge minister, he will be supreme. But not in Karnataka. In Karnataka, chief minister may be supreme, but not in India. Therefore, when it is said Devi is supreme, not in the complete cosmic manifestation. She is in the material world, she is the head. And similarly, Lord Shiva. Now comes to the, today is also the auspicious day of Advaita Acharya. So now we continue the study of Brahma Samhita. Morning we dwelled into the subject, so it will be a repetition. So let me go to the subject of Brahma Samhita today. So now Brahma, what does it do? Now Brahma is the son of the Lord. In fact, when Garbhodakshayi Vishnu is lying on the ocean created by his own body, and Garbhodaka ocean is called, and he is lying on that, from his navel, a thin stem comes out, just like a hair is there in a body. And in that, a lotus comes at the end, and Brahma is born on it. And Prabhupada mentions there that the Lord Narayana had Lakshmi is sitting next to him. Is also Vishnu. Vishnu and Narayana is same person. But he didn't have to take her help. He is so independent in his activity. We, when we do any activity, we are dependent on somebody. Okay? Anything we do, we are dependent. But Krishna is independent. He just wished, I want one child now to take care of this creation. He has made the universe, and he just went ahead without even asking Lakshmi. Generally a man, if he wants to have a child, he depends on the cooperation of his wife. Where Vishnu is independent completely, Swarat. And then Brahma is born on the lotus. He is very confused about his own existence. He doesn't know who has given him birth. All he can see is a beautiful lotus in which he is sitting. And he can see water all around, that's all. And the covering of the universe. He cannot see beyond that anything. And nothing is there. That's all. He is the first personality in the universe. Nothing else has happened till now. So he becomes quite, inquisitive. Now, who is my origin? So he then takes a stem of that lotus and goes down, 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 goes inside water. But it's beyond his capacity, how long, how deep he can go. And then, fearing his own life inside water, he runs back to the top of the lotus. And he sits there. And then the Brahma hears a sound called Ta, Pa. Two sounds. So this is all Ta. In Bhagavatam it is said this syllable and this syllable of this table he heard. And after hearing the sound, Tapa, he understood that it's not going to be free. If I want to know Krishna, if I'm at all interested, he was interested. Our problem is we are not interested. We are not aware of our ignorance. Just like a child, when he is aware of his ignorance, he is very serious, something he doesn't know, he is very curious to know. Similarly, we are also actually not aware, and we have no seriousness like Brahma, otherwise we will also hear the sound Tapa, either in the way Brahma heard or somebody will come and tell. And the point is this, when somebody becomes serious to know Krishna, Krishna will guide him. There is no question of any kind of shortcoming from Krishna's part. Shortcoming is from our part. Like Brahma, the moment he became inquisitive, know what's the fundamental truth, immediately guidance from the Lord started. Later, when the Lord gives him full realization, he tells him, I was the one who made that sound. Or that sound was created by me, so that he can guide you on the way of self-realization. So Brahma, even though he doesn't know what is the origin of the sound, at that moment, he understood what I am supposed to do. I am supposed to do tapasya. So he sat down. Well, what is tapasya? Tapasya means to control the mind and control the senses and focus them on the Lord. That's all the tapasya means. It's like when you do sadhana, we are chanting Hare Krishna. That is tapasya. Our mind wants to go somewhere, our senses want to go somewhere else. And what do? We say, no way. I'm going to hear this vibration of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra as ordered by the Acharyas. I'm going to do it. So Brahma sat down and in tapasya, Bhakti Yogena Manasi, just like Vedavyasa did. In devotion to the Lord, is inquiring by Lord, please reveal your existence. Because he doesn't know anything. If God has form, God doesn't have form. He doesn't know anything at the moment. He just, please, oh the absolute truth, reveal yourself. And his tapasya was so great, and that it went for a huge time. In fact, nobody has a life of Brahma. So this tapasya also, nobody can dream to do. Brahma had a life, but also he took advantage of it. It's a terrible tapasya. For some thousands of years of the Devatas, huge time, he did tapasya. And then after that, Krishna being satisfied, manifested the Vaikuntha in front of him. Brahma could see the whole Vaikuntha. It is by Krishna's divine potency. Brahma could see the whole Vaikuntha. Generally people have an idea that beyond the material world is something spirit. But they don't know. In spirit also there is variety. Brahma could see the first gate of Vaikuntha. There are 7 gates. Last gate is Jai and Vijay. Before also some people are there. When the 4 Kumaras had gone, the other gatekeepers they didn't see. But actually they are gatekeepers at all the places. And they all have a name. Jai Vijay in the 7th gate, last gate. So he started seeing one by one the gatekeepers and he saw them so beautiful. They all look like Narayana, 4-handed and the same bluish color, and ornamented, garland, looked like fresh. He was so amazingly effulgent. He was seeing them so beautifully smiling one by one. And then he saw the Lord himself after crossing the gate. Sanat Kumar was stopped at that moment, and then some pastime, then they saw the Lord. So he didn't have any problem. Then he saw the Lord itself, so beautiful. And the Lord accompanied by Lakshmi. And the Lord is always moved by the love of his devotees. He could see all the feature of the Lord. And then Narayana shook hand with Brahma. He welcomed him. Yes, very nice. And after that, he congratulated him. He said, yes, because it's a very big responsibility that Narayana wants to delegate. Because he is the one who creates the material world as Mahavishnu. And in his form of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, further gets into charge of this world and all. So what we can understand is that he is looking for a personality who is competent to take charge of the material world. He delegates it. And he is very happy. He chose some jiva called Brahma, whom he gave the post of Brahma. He is very happy to see he lived up to his expectation. Tapasya is a mark of a spiritualist. It's an ornament of a devotee. So you can see, yes, as Prabhupada writes, a lot of purports say they're very important for inspiration on doing tapasya. But Prabhupada has given it actually very small tapasya. Because the result is so big. Because we do not know what we are looking for, what we are actually targeting when we are doing tapasya. Therefore we become a little lax. But if you know, just like Brahma was so eager, such a good example is set by tapasya. So anyway, so Narayana shakes hands with Brahma, congratulating him basically, not like shake hand with a friend. He's so happy. Good. You're ready to be controlled by me and do my job. You're finding a fit person. And now he empowers him for the creation job. That's how Brahma gets empowered. And also Brahma offers a lot of prayers to the Lord. And at this moment, Narayana, Krishna in the form of Narayana, gives to Brahma Chatur Shloka Bhagavatam. There are 4 verses in which the whole Bhagavatam essence is there. Basically the essence of Gita, Bhagavatam, everything is very simple. Krishna is great, we are very small. He is the source of everything. And anything independent of him is Maya. Before the creation he existed. And the summit of knowledge is this, nothing more. These are the 4 verses actually. Aham eva sameva gre. That is how it begins, Chatushloka Bhagavatam. We read in Bhagavatam 18,000 shlokas that are summarized in 4 shlokas, which Krishna taught Brahma. Then Brahma instructs Narada, that is also within Bhagavatam. Then Narada instructs Vedavyasa, that is also within Bhagavatam. And then Vedavyasa instructs Shukadeva Goswami. And Shukadeva Goswami instructs Parikshit Maharaj. And then one more hearer there is Suta Goswami, who instructs sages in Namesharana. All the stages practically are there within the same book simultaneously. Bhagavatam is not only 18,000 shlokas, another 4 also. And then Narada, he once goes to Brahma and he says, my dear father, I see that you are so great, just like you do anything actually. The whole, whatever we see in this creation is created by you. Moving or non-moving, everything, origin is you. But I always see you are praying to somebody. Please, can you tell me the truth? What is this truth? Whom are you praying? Because we can't see him. I can see you, but I can't see him. In the sense he is inquiring actually. Narada knows everything. So Brahma says, so nice. So Prabhupada writes in the purport there, this is the essence of missionary activities. Because a devotee feels so element and joyful to glorify the Lord. Because unless that natural pleasure is there, and then there is no, otherwise there is no point in missionary activities. Just increasing numbers or like a cult growing, that has no meaning. A devotee naturally feels joy in glorifying the Lord, and naturally feels joy in Nama Sankirtana of the Lord, in our system, of in our Sampradaya. So, therefore, he wants that to spread naturally. Right? So, that's how the phenomena Prabhupada says. So, the Brahma also being the first missionary in our Krishna consciousness movement in the material world, he also has his party called Brahma Sampradaya, Brahma, Narada, Vedavyasa. So now he's instructing his disciple Narada with great pleasure. And he says, actually I am the servant of the Supreme Lord. I have been delegated this power. It's not that I am the Supreme. He clarifies this. So another point in the Brahma Samhita was the time. Now the Brahma, his whole life. So one thing is now clear to everybody before I go to that. The Brahma is very great. In fact, he's so powerful that he can create living entities like anything. It's not like he can just by thinking create from the heart. Heart of Brahma is Narada. This is how he can create all that. Just by his thoughts, by his hairs. It's amazing the way Brahma is creating. He is not ordinary personality. He's very, very powerful personality. He's invested with so many powers for the whole creation. All the seeds of the different species are in him, given by the Lord. In a subtle form, all the living entities, their designs and all have been given to him. Brahma is not the original creator. In fact, Brahma also has to be careful sometimes. That is what Brahma prays to the Lord at that time. He said, my dear Lord, on your order I am going to create, but give me the blessing that I don't become proud of having done this phenomenal thing. And second thing, I don't become entangled in this creation. Because this material world means so much illusory attractions and distractions are created to satisfy. I don't get entangled. Prabhupada says it's just like drunkards. Certain states, in India also some states are there where drinking is prohibited. Other states feel that if you stop, don't give license for liquor, then state economy will collapse. But actually some states like Gujarat they have zero economy, zero money they earn from sale of liquor. They don't have, it's banned in the state. Still state is running. People don't understand. So anyway, this is another topic to take. But the point is, suppose such a state is there and somebody approaches the government that, see, I am an addicted drunkard, under the regulation, give me some liquor for some time, it may be considered. Prabhupada gives an example here. So similarly, he knows it is not good for him, everybody knows it is not good for him, but sometime when you have an addict, suddenly you can't remove him from the addiction. Gradually they, like in drug addicts, they gradually withdraw him, otherwise there will be a severe reaction. There is a withdrawal symptom. So anyway, so somebody may be a drunkard and for whatever reason, he applies and can you give me some opportunity, what to do, I am an addict, little I can have. The government may consider, Prabhupada says, the same way our situation is like that. We are drunkards of sense gratification, drunkards. We think we are very great actually, we are drunkards in a similar way. There is a liquor and here is sense gratification. You are addicted to that and you want that. So material world is for the drunkards. And they are given some concession. We are very proud if we get some liquor. Now just imagine a drunkard. He goes to the liquor shop. They say, no, it's not allowed, it's banned. Or say, so you have to get a license. Previously I think some system like this was there maybe. So he has to get a license. Yes, I can drink. And when he gets a bottle, he feels very proud. Oh, I got a bottle to enjoy. So similarly in this world, when people get an opportunity for sense gratification, they feel very proud. They should be ashamed rather, because they had to ask for a bottle of liquor. But they feel very proud. I got 2 liters of liquor today. They feel very proud. So similarly, when opportunity for sense gratification is given by the Lord, it's like a poison. But what to do? This material world is meant for drunkards. So somehow under license, little they are given to, according to how much they can, take or handle. So this is the situation. The Brahma has to get into all this tamasha business in the material world. Well, all rogues, conditioned soul have to be given opportunity for enjoyment. At the same time, him being the primary missionary, he launches a movement to reclaim the conditioned souls to the lotus feet of Krishna. He's doing that. Brahma is doing that. So he prays to the Lord, let me not also be entangled. When I am creating the illusory attractions or liquor in this world, let me not be enchanted. Correct? He has to create, no. For male he has to create female, for the female he has to create male. It's all liquor only. Foolishness, gratification. He has to create so many things in this world for our enjoyment. So at that moment, Krishna blesses them. Yes, fine, granted. Narayana blesses them, granted. And therefore the Brahma takes up this work of creation. So Brahma Samhita, at a certain time, Prabhupada also says that actually sometimes what happens that Brahma may think, I am also one of the directors, because there are 3 executive directors in this world. Chief Executive Director, CEO. There are 3 people. Just like they have for finance, for this, for that. For creation it is Brahma, and for maintenance is Vishnu, and destruction is Shiva. Shiva never makes a mistake, he is too exalted that he is a servant of the Lord. But Brahma may make a mistake sometimes. Because having a post as technically equivalent to Lord Vishnu, you start thinking he is also equally important. But then, after the destruction of the world, this Brahma definitely goes back to Narayana, but it doesn't enter the Vaikuntha world because everything is absorbed in Narayana. Just like it is said, a web. The example is given like a spider. Spider creates a web by his own energy, but he can eat the whole web and withdraw within himself. Similarly, the Lord creates a material world, but he can absorb the whole material world within himself. So at that time, we have to keep Brahma. Brahma doesn't enter Vaikuntha, but is within the energy of the Lord. And then when the secondary, again creation comes, Brahma has to come back. He doesn't achieve Vaikuntha. So even Brahma has to be careful. It is said in some places that Brahma sometimes get enticed. So Brahma also needs to do Siva Tapasya, continue his Tapasya. Just being Brahma is not going to back to Godhead. What is our condition? We think I have lifted Hare Krishna mantra beat, I am going back to Krishna. Here is Brahma. Being directly seen, he sees the Lord 2 times. Here he sees him as Narayana, later is going to see as Krishna. He is so much blessed with the topmost position in this world. Still, there is no guarantee of his going back to Godhead. Just like Prabhupada gives an example of Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj almost came to the platform of Bhav Bhakti. But then he fell down. He became attached to a deer, unnecessarily to a deer in the forest. And what he had to do? He had to take birth again in the material world. As a deer, then as a Jadabharata, and then sincerely endeavor and go back to God. So there cannot be relaxed. Tapasya, coming back to Tapasya, is the hallmark of the devotee. But guided Tapasya and something which can be sustained as Prabhupada is guided. So now that comes to Brahma. So Brahma is doing great tapasya. So sometimes what happens is that Brahma, doing sincere tapasya, goes back to God after his, life is over. We heard in the previous shloka, a Mahavishnu breathes in and out. And the whole life of Brahma, which is in our universe equal to 311 trillion years, which is huge. We can't even imagine. 1,000 years we can't, difficult to understand. And we are talking about trillion years. Even science has no hold of so many years. 4 lakh, 5 lakh, 10 billion, that much they talk about. 14 billion, they have not come to a figure bigger than that of time. They say universe is only that much. Here Bhagavatam is talking about, because their mistake is this, they see creation in one direction. They will never be able to understand the Vedic knowledge by speculative process. Why? Because they see creation in one direction. In the sense of creation happened and we are there. But they don't know the fact is of creation and dissolution, creation and dissolution. That's why many devotees who are doing work on this cosmology, they're saying this is where the mistake is happening. By the Vedic time, one thing they are stunned. They say our time scale, because other religions speak about creation happening 5,000 years ago. So they've abandoned that. No serious scientist will take like that. They dumped it. But when they come to the Veda, they're stunned, because Vedas talk not even in billions, they're talking in trillions of years, hundreds of trillions of years. They have not come to that scale. They have not seen any object in the universe which is older than 10 or 14 billion years. And they generally say 4 billion years is the life of Earth, and the creation maybe, Big Bang maybe 10, 8, something like that. It's in the same magnitude. But here is hundreds of trillions. Some devotees who talk to the scientists, they say that a problem is that you see creation only in one direction. Because Brahma, every day of Brahma, there is a fresh creation. And sometimes within the day of Brahma also, there is Manvantara, there is a mini pralayas. And where definitely all the planets, Earth and many above are destroyed. Only few top planets are left. Therefore, you are not seeing the real picture. So anyway, the knowledge is very speculative. It depends on imperfect mind, imperfect senses. First we get information from imperfect senses. It can be wrong definitely. And then your imperfect mind, imperfect philosophies to calculate and understand that. Why waste our time when you're getting information from the perfect source, the Supreme Lord? Waste of time we call it, childish curiosity. So now the Brahma, sometimes doing sincere tapasya in this life of 311 trillion years, offering devotional service to the Lord whole his life, goes back to Godhead. Possible. And it happens. Generally he goes back to Godhead. But it is not a guarantee, Prabhupada. Just because he is Brahma, he is not going back. He has to do devotional service whole life. Control his mind, control his senses, and offer devotional service to them. Now, sometimes, the fresh creation, when it is happening, one more creation, there is no Brahma. There is a living entity capable to take the role of Brahma. That's what here in the purport Prabhupada says. At that moment, and Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada is saying here, at that moment, Lord Vishnu incarnates himself as Brahma. That means there is a minimum platform you need to take the position of Brahma. Brahma is not a resident of Vaikuntha in the material world. But within that also there is a minimum qualification needed. If there is no living entity fit to take the role of Brahma, it's not that anybody will take that role. Krishna personally incarnates. So don't think this word has been thrown by the Lord. He's very, chalo chodo, to kuch nahi ho sakta. No. The Lord is very interested. It's just like a jail. And take an example. A king sees there is nobody fit with generally in a jail from outside to appoint somebody is foolishness, because who will like to go there inside the jail? None of us like to do any duty inside a jail. We will deal with rogues, murderers, thieves, just to build an example. Sometimes the government is such, even innocent people go inside the jail. And those are crooks, they are outside. Sometimes it also happens. In many parts of the world, that's why sometimes they are against death penalty, because after he has been killed, they understand he was innocent. It has happened. Because judgment, whole process is corrupt. So anyway, after, take an example where there is a good government and all crooks are inside. Now who will like to go inside? Because outside we are all law-abiding, we feel so peaceful and happy, and inside the jail are only crooks. So who wants to go? Nobody wants to go inside the jail. The Krishna also doesn't want to bother his pure devotees who are enjoying loving relationship with him in the Vaikuntha, go to the material world. So what does Krishna do actually? He, among the jail, who is the best, appoint him as the Brahma. Brahma is the jiva of the material world. But there is still some minimum qualification which is needed to be a jailer. He should not steal money, so many things are needed for him. He himself, some integrity is needed so he can obey the king. But if he cannot find somebody who can trust, then what he does? He has to send somebody from the spiritual world. So he incarnates. The Lord has an incarnation, expansion of his own self. Just like there are so many incarnations of the Lord takes a role of Brahma. Similarly, even for Indra, Indra is also a minimum post is required, minimum qualification is required. Even for Indra, Indra is Deva Deva. He is the head of the Devatas. He is a Raja among the Devatas rather. I think Deva Deva is referred to Krishna. So he is a king among the Devatas. He is a head, leader among them. Sometimes Krishna incarnates even as Indra. Okay. So there are different varieties of incarnation where Lord Chaitanya discussed to Sanatana Goswami. He elaborates about the huge detail about this different kind of incarnations. So Krishna is very much concerned about the material world. This should also be another point. And the Brahma's life, which is so massive. How much is the Brahma's life? 311 trillion years, roughly my calculation. Massive life. 8.6 billion years the day of Brahma. Into you multiply by 365, that is 1 year of Brahma. And into 100 is a life of Brahma. Just like we calculate, we can calculate his life also. Now this phenomenal life of hundreds of trillions of years of Brahma, it's just one breathing of Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu just breathes out and he breathes in. Within the time, from the pores of his body, in a seed form, not the big seed form, the universes come out, they expand. So we also agree, the universe expands. Because in the Vedas it is given. Because for us, we don't have to waste time. Because we have time to purify ourselves and go back to Krishna. We don't have time for, doing so many nasty things, waste of our time. The time is limited. Where is the time? Chant Hare Krishna. Do they have time for chanting 16 rounds? They don't have. And they want to study how universe expanded. Why are you wasting your time? First follow what has been told to you. You do your job. Let Vishnu do his job. Creation and all, Brahma and all big people are doing. Why you want to bother? There was one person. He was saying that Rishi, that I want to have within my head what Brahma is thinking for a moment at least. So he went and prayed to Brahma, can I do that? Can you bless me? Brahma said, you are a small jiva with a small processor. Say, just like in a mobile you have a processor, small processor. And this is a supercomputer. Brahma says you can't handle with this massive memory. And that's, a small memory. But he says, no, I want that. For a moment at least. Brahma says, if you insist, okay, handle it. And what happened? His head burst. Just like a small processor will burn. If he has all the processes to be done, what a supercomputer does. And his head burst actually, he died. The same way we can't do the work of Brahma, let Brahma do. The details of creation, how it is happening, why you want to waste your time. All the scientists are sitting today, millions of them, they want to figure out. And why they are not interested in the knowledge also. Per se, they want to exploit. They are not interested in knowledge, they want to control and enjoy that knowledge. Per se, they are not interested in knowledge. Had it been there, they would have come to Krishna consciousness. Krishna would have guided them. Just like Brahma was interested in knowledge. What is the purpose of creation? Who am I? Sincerely, Krishna guided him to the truth. But today, they are all jokers. They are not interested in truth. Not interested. They just want to enjoy the senses, that's all. Sometimes they want to enjoy piously, that's all. Nothing more than that. So why will Krishna reveal themselves? Krishna will not reveal. So therefore they get, they are fit to be misled. And they waste their whole life and waste other people's life. Even, all the taxpayer money, trillions and billions of dollars is looted by these people. Prabhupada was very upset with the scientists many times. He said they just dilute the society because they are intelligent people. They play some tricks and billions of dollars of the country are wasted in these childish curiosities of the scientists. So then what happens is that Vishnu is so careful. The time scale. So just imagine one breathing of Mahavishnu is all the life of Brahma, which itself is unimaginable for us. Mahavishnu is eternal. It's not that now you start measuring his life, he is eternal. But imagine the size of Mahavishnu, where the universes are coming from his body like a seed. Imagine that's why it's called Maha, so huge. Just conceptualize the form of Mahavishnu. This whole universe is beyond our capacity to understand. So say the seeding stages, whatever, the size, even you say one person, and that is just one of the pores on his body. Huge form Mahavishnu is having. And then imagine the time in the eternal scale. Therefore it is said about billions of births in the material world, because in the 311 trillion years we can have billions of births. Billions of births in the material world is just like a moment in the spiritual world. Therefore sometimes acharyas comment about all the suffering in the material existence, all the anxieties that we went through. It is just like a small dream in the spiritual world. Just like I thought something. Sometimes we think something wrong and the mind becomes entangled, start harassing and say, what I was thinking. Because see, we have varieties of addictions. Suppose I am addicted to drinking. And then I just think about it, and then Dhyayate Vishaya Pumsa, how the addiction start anyway. Dhyayate Vishaya Pumsa Sangasthesh. And mind becomes a little harassed. And then and you come out of it. That's all. And how much time it may be? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you pull away. No, it's not correct. No? And that's over. But it didn't go deeper. If it goes deeper, then you cannot forget it. But here, in the same way, in the spiritual world, the soul being so pure, sometimes this whole our material existence, the whole experience that we go through, of billions of births and so much suffering, and particularly the suffering is so intense in Yamaloka, and so much suffering and rehabilitation going on, birth after birth. It's just like a small dream in the spiritual world, I was thinking. And we are back in the service to Krishna. So in this way we can understand the position of Brahma and the whole creation. Therefore Prabhupada says devotee is not a fool. He knows everything. Actually he is not. People think devotee kata is playing kartal. He is not only playing kartal, he knows everything. How the universe has been created, who is Mahavishnu, who is Brahma, what these people know with their tiny speculative knowledge. How can an ant in this room, can you know what is happening in India? Can the ant understand? Karnataka government can fall any time. One more person has to leave, they are saying. Tap the government falls. Can the ant understand the anxiety the chief minister is having? He cannot understand. Correct? It is beyond the capacity of the ant to ever understand the political situation of our state. He cannot understand. So similarly, we are thinking we are very great, but we are so small. They had a similar example. The some probe, small tiny probe they sent, and from Saturn it took a picture of Earth. It was not even a dust. It was not even a dust. So we are so small, many times the scientists understand this fact. We are insignificant. In the whole cosmos, you see in the sky, Earth is invisible practically. And on that we are a small land. And we think we are so special. But actually the fact is this: we are too small to know about God. His own creation we cannot understand. How are you going to understand the Creator? Okay, very important point. Very creation of the Lord is beyond our capacity to understand. How are you going to understand the Creator and all the dimensions of the Creator? Not only there is Mahavishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, there is Goloka, and Krishna is having pastime, there is Vaikuntha. You have no way to know that except from an authority. Just like Prabhupada gives an example. A child can know about the father from the authority of the mother. So similarly, we can know about Krishna from the Shastra, which is like a mother. The authority of the scriptures, only we can know about Krishna. There is no other way. But axiomatically also, if we accept what the scriptures say and we follow the directions of the scripture, we will be able to see what the scriptures are saying. Just like Brahma, when he did tapasya, he could see the Lord face to face. Don't think it remains as only a story. Prabhupada said it may be a story for you, but not for why the Bhagavatam is there. What is Bhagavatam doing? Whole book is filled with examples of people who saw the Lord face to face. So it is not just a story, it's a fact. And these people come and give interview in Bhagavatam. Just like when you were small, we used to read a book, Competition Success Review. That gives an example of all IS, people who get IS. You used to also read what they did. So similarly, their example is given for who wants to see the Lord. So now today we take the example of Brahma. What did he learn? Tapasya. And that is what Brahma teaches, Prabhupada used to say, anybody can play a role of a teacher provided he is strictly following. Correct? So therefore, all of us have to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya. It is already predicted that whole over earth, everywhere, Prithvi Chayatavacha Nagaradi Grama Sarata Pracharava Moranam, everywhere the holy name will spread. Advaita Acharya found himself incapable to launch a worldwide movement. So therefore he prayed to the Lord. And therefore Lord Chaitanya came. And the whole movement began. And it has been just like Prabhupada said, he started it. Just like a wave starts from somewhere and goes on. Just like a train, the engine pushes and then push, bogies follow. The push is from the Lord himself, as Lord Chaitanya, this Krishna conscious movement. And now from that push, slowly everybody is getting pushed and is pushing other people. So it is going to happen actually. But to play the role of teachers, to guide the people in this, the first thing we should be qualified is that we should have tapasya. Otherwise we can't do it. Therefore I was hearing somebody's lectures, a 2 hours lecture on the principle of strictly following. So here we have an example of Brahma, what terrible tapasya he had to do as the first personality in this universe. So we should also be eager. And what a little, Prabhupada, what he has given is very, very little. That morning conversation, Prabhupada laughs. Somebody tells Prabhupada that, you are given some austerity to the impossible person. What is impossible? Prabhupada says you have to get up so early in the morning. Prabhupada said, early to bed, early to rise is, makes a person healthy, wealthy, wise. What is wrong in it? Therefore, unless a person gets early morning, he cannot practice spiritual life. He is not serious, basically. He is not a serious candidate. The next thing is that we say, Prabhupada, you give 4 regulated principles. Prabhupada said that is also good for health. It's good for health. So where is there, something he has given which is impossible? It's so simple actually. It's very simple. And he has given it in a way that we can all do. So we should accept this process and then all of us become fit to be able to become instrument in the hand of Lord Chaitanya. Because it will happen. Once it is a prediction, it has to happen. It's not that it will not happen. It has to happen. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said every town and village, everywhere people will chant and dance the names of the Lord. It is going to happen. Already we know in the seedly form it is started manifesting. Today we were reading from Brahma Vaivarta Purana, the prediction. It says that for 10,000 years the golden age will manifest in Kali Yuga. And the people, in fact, it starts with Krishna before his departure. The Ganges, Mother Ganges is talking to Krishna in a personalized form. Ganga Putra. So Ganga also has a personalized form. She says that, just like Yamuna also we are coming in personalized form and offering prayers to Balaram. So she offers prayer, Ganges, that, Kali Yuga is so terrible. People will only load you with sins. So Krishna says, don't worry. Very soon in Kali Yuga, a golden age will manifest for you. And for 10,000 years this age will manifest. And wherein the devotees will come, what chanting my name constantly. And when they come to take bath in you, that doesn't refer to us, we are only polluting Ganges. Talking about those who are pure. They will come not to dump their sin, but to take, to reduce a burden. Actually it is there like that. Just like when you touch somebody's feet, your karma, papa karma, you give to him. Therefore, unless you can handle, you should not allow others to touch the feet. Now it's a culture. True, at home, father has to allow child. Previously, yes, take. But why you give birth? You have to take it. You have to take the karma, it's your duty. Just like a guru. A disciple come to touch feet, guru comes, no, very difficult. And why you became guru? Except no. Because you have a... Bhagavatam says you cannot, unless you can deliver the disciple, don't become a guru. Similarly, you cannot become a father unless you can deliver the child. So father, mother, if the child goes to touch, he has to accept the karma. Beta, give. Any time, give. It's my duty. And Shastra also says, any time the child does sinful activity, anyway 50% commission comes to him, papa karma. And if the child becomes a great devotee, the father goes back to Godhead. That is also there. That is also there. Reverse is also, either way it is there. We are blessed. So now anyway, so when people go to take, similarly giving juta, so once I saw students had come there. Now in modern culture, it is considered great friendship to eat from the same plate. The Vedic culture is considered rotten to do that. And how can you eat, somebody's plate? But that is also there. Husband eats, wife eats from the plate of the husband because a husband has to take the karma. Why he got married? Take the karma now. Because he has to, at least in the Vedic time, the husband will be spiritually strong to accept, and he has given shelter to the wife. Because husband was going to the Gurukul, not the wife. So husband was the natural guru for the wife. So juta also, when you give your juta to somebody, you have to take his karma. Therefore Guru, if from his, when he eats the food, the disciples can take the remnant. They have the right. The Guru cannot say, Baba, don't take. No. Why you became Guru? Not take the karma. If it's not ordinary, you will fall down actually. If you are not sincere and you take the role of a spiritual master, Damal will fall. So next thing comes, because our own karma we cannot handle. Imagine the karma of thousands of disciples. Sometimes when Prabhupada was sick, so somebody told Prabhupada, they become sick because of Papa karma. Some reporter. They become sick because of Papa karma. But why you are suffering? Because a pure devotee has no Papa karma. He is all pure. So Prabhupada said, I did one sin. What? You did a sin? Yes, I accepted foolish followers. In eager to spread the mission of Krishna consciousness, I accepted so many foolish followers, rascal followers, and I have to take their karma. It is true, Krishna protects finally, but that because we are a jiva, sometimes we become overcome by the load of the papa karma the disciples throw. So the mother Ganges also, when you take bath in a river, that's a subtle thing. We all feel refreshed or not? Anybody takes bath, you feel refreshed in the river. Anytime morning we take. Particularly we go to the Ganges, we take bath, we feel refreshed. You feel so light. If you have an experience, that is the experience. You feel so light. Yes, because you offloaded karma on the river. You offloaded. And now the river has to carry. Therefore Mother Ganges is very worried. In fact, when Bhagirathi wanted to bring also, she said the same question. Very worried she was. So much papi people. All the karmas will come and dump on me. And so at that time, so Lord Krishna says to Ganges, don't worry, my devotees will come. And great devotees are constantly chanting my names. And they, when they take bath in the Ganges, they deliver the papa karma from you, unload, and you will be relieved. But he says that will last only for 10,000 years. Then again the full force of Kali Yuga will start. I don't know what happens at that time to Ganges. She winds up, dries up, or runs away. I don't know, but she is there. So this is the situation in Kali Yuga. So this is the forecast. This is there in the Bhagavatam. So 10,000 years started from the advent of Lord Chaitanya. And he started the push. And within 500 years, you see the movement has now started taking roots all around the world. It is not just like any curd spreading. No, sir. It's the movement of the Lord. So many we have, they are like bubbles, Prabhupada. Don't worry. They will go. But this is not come to go. This is going to stay for 10,000 years and going to explode. So now for us to be an instrument to spread this, you have to agree to do tapasya, the proper skill. Otherwise we cannot be. Krishna, just like Brahma, when it is sincere tapasya, and he came in front of the Lord shook hands and said, yes, now I can empower you to do the job. We can empower you. So Krishna will not empower you, Prabhupada will not empower us. Until he is satisfied with the tapasya. Yes. And then, even though you are a conditioned soul, you will become an instrument in the hand of Prabhupada to spread the Divya coming down from the Parampara. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Shri Brahma Samhita ki.